Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on InfoLnkX. This is SpeedPro's solution to the growing need for smart signage that delivers safety and more effective marketing. Hi, my name is Larry Oberle. I'm President and CEO of SpeedPro. We are a custom, just-in-time light manufacturer of wide format printed graphics. Some of our largest product segments include wall, window, floor graphics, signs, vehicle and fleet wraps, and event displays. We serve industries including advertising and marketing, healthcare, retail and consumer products, museums and galleries, restaurants, events, education, and many more. Our mission is to partner with businesses to achieve success through innovative visual solutions, and InfoLnkX is our newest solution. Now, with COVID, we've certainly faced a lot of opportunities to solve the disruption of safety. We believe InfoLnkX not only covers the safety aspects of COVID, but also from a marketing point of view. And so this is a disruptive technology that we think is incredibly innovative and allows all of our clients to think differently about how they keep safety for their clients and their customers, and also to rethink their marketing long term. Now, meet NFC technology. It's been around for many, many years, and you've seen it in many different places and maybe not even think about it too much, as Apple Pay and Google Pay have been using NFC technology for many years. As more and more phones are adopting the technology of readers built into the phones, they're going to become more and more ubiquitous as we go into the future. And right now, Apple estimates that 73% of all iPhone users have NFC-enabled devices currently, and many, many more from the Android point of view. And according to eMarketers, there will be 69.4 million NFC mobile payment users by the end of 2020, and as many as 80 million or more by 2023. So as we get started, I'd like to introduce two members of our marketing team, Danielle Euthys, Senior Director, and Josh Buras, Marketing Specialist. Danielle will take you through the PowerPoint, and Josh will manage the Q&A at the end. So welcome, Danielle and Josh, and take it away.
Thanks, Larry, and thanks, Josh, for helping out with the Q&A. If anyone does have Q&A as we go through, just go ahead and type it up there in the Q&A box. And so today you're joining as a SpeedPro exclusive partner. We are beginning to launch this with our current partners before we do our full throttle national launch. So we're very happy to have you joining here with us. And I'll go ahead and walk through some of the marketing materials and some of the different offerings that we have for InfoLnkX.
Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
It can be applied in a variety of different ways. It can be applied to wall murals, any kind of banners, tabletop signs and decals, elevator wraps, really anything that you can think of that's any of SpeedPro's offerings. Even something like putting it onto a food truck so that customers can walk right up to it and get the menu right away. It's not only for restaurants though, and for menus. It can be applied in a lot of different applications throughout different industries, including something like a museum or a gallery, a school, a university. And then we really feel strongly that this will make a huge comeback when events start to come back. We've been getting a lot of PR for it as well. And not even all of it is mentioned here. It's getting a lot of traction in the restaurant online community and in small business trends, as well as nationally syndicated PR. Some of the benefits here, again, are that it's brand new and it's proximity marketing based. Particularly in the era of COVID, everyone is looking for something that's touchless. So you can hold your phone up without having to handle the menus, the brochures, or other information touch points that you would normally have multiple people handling at one time. So it allows you to get the information out without any fear of sharing anything that anyone has touched. And again, it integrates that in-person and online. So you're driving more web traffic just by reaching people in person through signage that they would typically see and walk by. Now they're seeing it and engaging with your website. You can then track those analytics and remarket to that audience specifically with other messaging that will help them and encourage them to come back to your business. On the tracking side, there are many different tracking and data touch points available. One of the simplest is through Google Analytics. So we would add tracking parameters to your URL, and the tracking would come through in your Google Analytics. So the data would be entirely yours. It'd be very seamless for you to see exactly what's going on with the chips and how many visitors you're getting and all that kind of thing in real time. So you may be thinking, what is the difference with the QR code? A QR code you'll see coming up in a lot of restaurants, and it's doing something similar. Although a QR code has to be the actual barcode, it has to be the phone's camera or reader app needs to be open in order to trigger it to open the web browser. And basically we think of the NFC as the QR code 2.0. It's kind of the next evolution of where this technology is going to be going, especially again as it becomes really mainstream due to tap to pay and technology like Apple Pay and Google Pay. So NFC is just a more seamless way to do things without encumbering the design with a barcode, and it is just triggered by proximity, so you don't have to open any other kind of application or the camera on the phone. We'll take a look at some of the marketing materials that we have available for you that we can send out if you'd like. We have a sales sheet here that you can see a lot of the benefits and how it works. There's also a QR code here. And you'll also see the card that we can send you. And so we can embed a chip right on it so that you can see how the programming will work. We have a PDF filled with information that has the statistics of the future of NFC and some of the other information that's critical when you're making a decision on if this is the right solution for your business. Again, on retargeting, this is really the critical part about this touchless technology and being able to drive traffic to your website. The user scans the chip and then the link is visited. Then that's tagged with the pixel and you can serve ads. And those ads can be Facebook ads, Google ads, any kind of custom and display remarketing ads that you would set up and that would run through this. And again, would all be run through your own Google Analytics. So that's a little bit about us and an overview of the technology and the tools that we have available. I want to go ahead and open it up for questions.
Okay, let's go into the questions. First question we have is just a basic question of how has InfoLnkX been received so far in your initial outreach?
The restaurants that we've tried it with so far are really enjoying it, and they are seeing a lot of benefits of it in terms of ease of use and getting customers through to their websites. We've also seen a lot of pickup on the public relations side. So very, very interested in the technology as it relates to it being a future trend in the market.
Okay, and then you touched on restaurants, and that kind of goes into our next question we have here. What other applications does SpeedPro see outside of restaurants?
There's all kinds of different applications for NFC technology that we see. Anything like where it's a public venue or space, something like a museum or a transportation hub. Even in San Francisco, if you're familiar with the Clipper cards, those are completely run by NFC technology. So we see this popping up really everywhere. Certainly when events begin to come back, and we're also looking at how stadiums may be able to use this so that they could send a particular message to a particular client in a certain seating area or anything like that. We've also done some testing with different nonprofits for how they can use this for donations and to get information out to their target demographics.
Great. Okay, and then we have one question about pricing.
For pricing, it will depend very specifically on the project and what that looks like. So the pricing is going to be very different if you have, 100 tables that you're ordering decals for, or if it's one giant wall mural that has 5 of the NFC chips in that. So connect with the local SpeedPro who invited you onto the webinar today to go through the specifics of your project, and they'll be able to quote you out exactly what that pricing would look like.
Okay. And how do you see COVID-19 affecting the rollout of InfoLnkX and maybe driving the overall need for it right now and moving forward?
Smart signage is something that we've been exploring for a long time here at SpeedPro. We just expedited it and made an extra push for it because of the immediate need during the COVID era where everyone does want to go touchless. And we felt a really big opportunity where we could help our customers be able to reopen safely and have their customers feel comfortable. And I think it's going to be something that's going to last long after COVID. So it's not going to just be sort of a fad for now and then fade off, especially as the tap to pay technology takes off more and more. And as customers get more and more used to having immediate information on their phone through this proximity type relationship, this is only going to go bigger and bigger. So for right now, some of the time we're pairing it with QR codes. If customers may be, let's say, more familiar with the QR code, you can go that route and do both together. But we feel that ultimately NFC chips are going to completely replace the current QR code.
Yeah, and I would like to add on to that, Danielle, if you don't mind, as we've seen across the country, especially in Florida and Texas and some other states, that maybe a little too rambunctious getting started and now they're kind of shutting back down again. It's going to give businesses and the government also an opportunity to kind of reassess. And I don't think it's necessarily about talking about safety. It's really proving that we can be safe. And I think we can actually play a role with that with InfoLnkX, and to make sure as businesses are going to reinvent themselves, reopening yet again, how maybe we can even use social distancing graphics to make sure that places are not overcrowded and the like. So for the here and now, definitely safety is at the forefront. But ultimately, this is a long-term marketing solution to really get to know the client better and be able to remarket to those particular clients that do patron your business.
Great. All right. Next question. What is the lifespan of the chip? And maybe you can talk into a little bit about the durability of the chip as well.
Yeah, I'll jump on that too as well, Danielle, if you don't mind. So the lifespan of the chip is years. Certainly they can be damaged like any technology can be damaged. You can drop your phone and the like, but they are very hardy machines or chips. And unlike maybe a QR code that can be scratched and folded or something like that, where it may not be very useful even after a couple of uses if somebody decides to scribble on it. The QR codes don't have the same type of long-lasting life as a NFC chip.
Okay. Do these NFC tags require any power?
They do not. They're powered from your actual phone. So they do not need any kind of power source or anything like that.
Great. And I have one question here, another question on the tags themselves. Are the tags themselves rewritable, or when you write it, is that just a one and done type of thing?
Great question. There are 3 different options. One option is you can program it and not lock it. So you could program it and reprogram the same chip over and over again. But then again, anyone with a NFC writer app would be able to program that chip. So if you're worried more about security, you would need to lock the chip and lock the information onto the chip. And if you lock the chip, you're not able to unlock it. So then it would be permanently programmed. But there is a solution in between the two that is the best of both worlds, which is password protected. So you can program the chip and then protect that programming with a password that you set, and then you'll be able to reprogram it so long as you use the password. So that is the best of both worlds.
Great. We have another question similar to that. Do you have to be close to the chip to edit the links?
Yes. They work in actual proximity so that your phone will need to read the chip. And at SpeedPro, we will program the chips. And so they'll already be programmed whenever we install them. But yes, the phone or the writer needs to be in close proximity to the chip in order to be able to write it.
All right, just looking through more of the questions. So how are the tags applied? The tags themselves, I think, is what they're asking.
The tags themselves are just a small adhesive application. So they will just be embedded in, the application may vary based on if we're embedding it onto an acrylic sign versus a banner or a decal. So it really depends on what medium it's going onto. And then the SpeedPro installers will embed that in there, but it's basically an adhesive type solution.
Okay, and I guess a follow-up to that question, where can you put these NFC tags? I think they're asking, what kind of different applications there are.
Mm-hmm. You can essentially put them on anything. They can go onto a foam board type sign and an acrylic tabletop sign, a decal that's then applied to something else. We've seen it within, let's say, an elevator wrap, so that people who are coming up to the elevator itself would scan and get more information about the event venue or something like that. So all kinds of different solutions. It could be a banner. It could be really any of the products that SpeedPro provides. Again, it could be even something like for a vehicle wrap on a food truck where you would walk up to it and tap for the menu. So any kind of vinyl or other type of substrate that SpeedPro would provide. So we can, your local SpeedPro rep can go with you and walk through a lot more of the different types of products that we have available in more detail.
Great. All right, and how big are the NFC tags themselves?
They're a little bit smaller than a silver dollar. So it's just, you know, almost like a little larger than a quarter type thing. So it's just a small little piece. So in the design, you'll want to indicate where that bullseye is to actually hold the phone up to.
Perfect. Okay, I think we have one more question. Oh, not just a question, just an owner following up. I think that is all of our questions. Unless anyone else has a few more, go ahead and write that into the Q&A, but I think that was the last question.
Yeah, we had the comment in from one of our owners that you'll see in the chat was that they have a client using the chip under a social media logo to open their social media pages for more likes and check-ins. So you could say, check in here for a particular deal, or write a review is another really good application. And they can just hold it and get to it right away, leave you a Google review, like your Facebook page, follow you on Instagram, and makes those kind of things really, really simple. So that's a good point. Thanks, Adam, for that. And we will go ahead and stay on for another few minutes to make sure that we get everyone's questions answered. There's another one here. The media that the NFC tag can link to can be edited without editing the NFC tag. Yes, it can be. So let's say that you have programmed the NFC tag to a web page. You can edit the content on that web page all day long. So using a restaurant as an example, you could update your menu through your own website link the way that you would update your website in general. And that will be automatically updated on the chip. So if you have a new menu item or anything like that that you want to switch out, it's very, very simple and easy to be able to do that.
Yes, thank you all very much for attending our webinar today on InfoLnkX. Have a great day.